What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the October 25th, 2021 edition of Raw Talk. And as always, being hosted by Jackie Redmond and Matt Camp, they open the episode by running down the biggest headlines from last night's show, which honestly, overall, was not very good at all. I enjoyed the main event. Everything else was very questionable as far as how it was booked and the matches we saw and everything else. I just did not like last night's show. The main event was great, though. And speaking of which, Matt Camp mentions that Seth Rollins' ladder match win in the main event last night was his 5th ladder match win in WWE, which is fucking crazy. I mean, I can remember the Money in the Bank win. What other ladder matches has he won in WWE, though? Maybe, does he count TLC? If he's talking about TLC, then I guess he would include TLC 2012. But I'm thinking, like, what other ladder matches has Seth Rollins been in that he would have won? I know he retained the Intercontinental Championship in a very random Fatal 4-Way ladder match back at the first Greatest Super Showdown show in Saudi Arabia in 2018. That was a ladder match I remember. I don't know what other ladder matches he's had. Maybe there's more. There must be more I'm not thinking of. But even if you include the TLC match, that's only 3. So the fact that this was his 5th, apparently his 5th ladder match win in WWE is wild. That's just crazy. Matt Camp also says that Zelina Vega, Queen Vega, whatever you want to call her, Queen Zelina, has worked her entire life for that win last night, or not last night, but back at Crown Jewel when she became the Queen's Crown winner. And they replay her promo and they recap the match that she had with Doudrop where she beat her again. And we hear from Zelina Vega backstage here on Raw Talk with, who's the Raw Talk? Kevin Patrick, the backstage announcer. And she goes in and out of the accent again, the English accent or the Queen accent, whatever she was going for. I think it's dumb, but, she went in and out of the accent doing her whole victory speech. She basically repeated everything that she said up to this point about wanting to follow in the footsteps of Cleopatra and all these famous queens and whatever, and be, this queen of royalty and everything else. She just says that the women in the locker room do envy her, and she talks about her inspirations, and that was at a pretty basic promo from Zelina Vega. It was essentially everything she has said up to this point leading up to this victory, except for the fact that she has now won. So she kind of tweaked it to say, I'm not only gonna become the queen, I am the queen now, and these are the people I'm following the footsteps of. So it is what it is. They then replay the Triple Threat number 1 contenders tag team match where the winners earned a Raw tag team title match later on in the show. That was won. The number 1 contenders match was won by Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. They ended up losing to RK Bro a little bit later on in the show. They recap the tag team title match here as well, with RK Bro going over. And Matt Camp says that Riddle and Ziggler kind of went back to their amateur wrestling roots, and it was a very fun match. And he also mentions that Riddle, his in-ring ability is what makes RK Bro a threat. He can be goofy when he wants to be, but he can also be a real serious threat inside that ring as well. And Matt Camp says that Priest has been on a roll recently as the United States champion. They kind of talk about his, his weird shift, I guess you can kind of call it. He came out with new music last night, which I think is garbage. I thought the old music was perfectly fine. I enjoyed the old music, the entrance, the Archer of Infamy stuff. He ain't doing that shit anymore. Now he's doing something completely generic where he's like a devil and an angel and he goes from bad to evil or good to evil or whatever. I think it's stupid, but that's just me. We hear from Damian Priest, who talks about the latest evolution of his persona on WWE TV. And as far as people he wants to see step up and challenge him for that United States Championship and people he wants to face, he specifically mentions new Raw, Raw newcomers, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Rey Mysterio, all of whom would be awesome, Big E, and maybe even the Rated R Superstar. Someone I know he has talked a lot about wanting to face, and I don't know if Edge has said anything about Damian Priest, but I know Damian really wants that match, and they kind of have that rock star vibe about them, so that would be fucking awesome if we ever got that match. Back in the studio, Jackie and Camp recap Keith Lee versus Cedric Alexander, with Keith Lee picking up the win on that in that match. Matt Camp says that fans should be careful what they wish for, as they've always wanted him to be more aggressive and intense, and we got that, and now he's going to be destructive. He calls him a very dangerous man. I thought Keith Lee was a heel. It looked like they were going for a heel vibe with him, with the whole Bearcat bullshit. But he faced a heel, so I don't know if he's going to join Hurt Business or if they're going to scout him. I think that'd be cool. We'll see. They then recap the ladder match main event. That was won by Seth Rollins, earning him a shot at the WWE Championship against Big E at a later date. And Matt Camp even recalls, as someone else brought up on Twitter right before this aired, was that Big E actually beat Seth Rollins. Because I'm thinking in my head when he won the match, have we gotten a Rollins-Big E match before? And we haven't, I don't think, on the main roster. Maybe so. I can't remember many, if any, matches they had one-on-one on the show. They did face off once before in NXT, and it was Big E who beat Seth Rollins for the NXT Championship back in 2012. I think it aired in 2013, but I'm pretty sure it was taped in 2012. It was right after the Shield got called up to the main roster, and I guess Big E went to the main roster too, but that was before that as well. So yeah, they actually have history from NXT, which would be really cool if they touched upon that on the show, which I'm sure they will. I'm sure Seth Rollins will bring that up. Big E, we actually hear from him backstage here on Raw Talk. He was caught stretching, and the stagehand that was helping him just couldn't help but laugh. And you could tell that she's trying to hold back laughter, but she was unsuccessful. I thought it was great. I mean, how can you not laugh? The guy's great. Big E's awesome. He says that he wants the best as WWE Champion. He wants his reign to go down as people that he beat and faced and beat, to be the best, whether it be a Bobby Lashley or a Drew McIntyre or now Seth Rollins. And he calls Rollins a living legend, but he believes he will be a better version of himself after having beaten Rollins to retain that WWE Championship. And then to close out the episode, Matt Camp says that Big E could be a great champion if he keeps knocking off these great competitors. And that was it for the October 25th, 2021 edition of Raw Talk. Nothing really to go out of your way to watch here. The Big E stuff at the end was great. Not great, but it was entertaining while it lasted. Zelina, the Queen Zelina stuff might have potential, and she plays the role well. The accent, I think, is dumb. But we'll see where they go with it. And then with, who else did we hear from? We heard from Damian Priest. It was a fine interview, but he sounded dead on the inside, because, why would you change the guy's fucking music? He was getting over. Not that that's going to kill his momentum or anything, but they changed everything that I thought was unique about him, from the Archer of Infamy stuff to throwing off the arrows on fire, or imaginary arrows on fire. And then the theme as well. I don't really know why you would change it if it's not broken. Don't fix it if it ain't broken, Stupid. But overall, middle-of-the-road edition of Raw Talk for October 25th, 2021. Thank you guys for checking out this review. I appreciate it. You can be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. The upload schedule has been all over the place lately. It's just been a very busy last couple of weeks. For example, my Talking Smack review was supposed to be up on Sunday. Didn't have a chance to record it until Monday. And then by the time it went up on Monday, it was almost midnight, because I was out of the house and I was gone all day on Monday. Didn't have a chance to publish it until late after Raw. So that's up now. This will be going up today. Already on the channel should be my interview with NXT superstar Indy Hartwell, someone I've been a fan of and been following for a very long time. So to see her succeed is cool. To be able to chat with her ahead of Halloween Havoc tonight on NXT is even better. So check that out here on the channel. A lot of interviews going up. Yesterday was Rey Mysterio. Today is Indy Hartwell. Over the weekend we had Brian Clark, a.k.a. Adam Bomb, Danny Davis, Terry Runnels coming up. We still got Jeff Jarrett, among others. So if you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would appreciate it. And check out all the daily content, in addition to the interviews, we have going up here on the channel. So on that note, guys, have an awesome one. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.